Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween on the Calvin Cam podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything spooky and chilling. I'm Calvin.
And I'm Anthony. And today we have a supernatural horror film, The Exorcist. So let's get into it.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. This is a really great show, and we're really happy that we're doing this. I love this a lot. So let's keep it going. Let's keep
it going. Put some feedback in the comments below in the comment section and just let us know if our lighting's shitty or anything needs to be fixed. Because we're still experimenting with all this.
And we'll figure it out. Today we're going to be talking about The Exorcist. So The Exorcist is one of the biggest films of all time. It came out in 1973 and it is super, super popular.
Yeah, it is very super popular. The film itself was directed by William Friedkin, and its screenplay was by William Peter Blatty, of the same name. The film stars Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, if you know, he's the three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones, Jason Miller, and Linda Blair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this has a pretty stellar cast, I'd say.
Yeah, I just remembered like watching it, I was like, this is Max von Sydow.
Yeah, no, The Exorcist is an incredible film. It's probably one of the most beautifully shot films that I've ever seen in my life. As well as one thing that upon rewatching this movie as of late, I noticed the sound design is incredible.
Very incredible. All the sounds when Linda Blair, when she's possessed in her bedroom, you can hear the left and right channels going.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, it's really, really good, and it actually brings suspense to the film as you watch it. So
yeah, it kind of has like kind of a slow build up at first, but like it's still like very engaging to the audience, very engaging with suspense, and it does a very good job of like keeping you still wanting to see what's going to happen, where's this going to go. And then also just like one thing that I noticed a lot of in the film is just the background, like ambiance in the real world. Like when they first start talking outside, and they're smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of smoking in this film.
Yeah, the 70s, we're huffing and puffing. Upon their dialogue, upon them talking, I was just noticing, wow, like you can hear everything so clearly. And I don't know if this is just because we watched a remaster version of the movie, but like children playing in the park, people having conversations in the background, the birds chirping, the squirrels doing squirrel shit.
Yeah, the ambient sound just played effect like this is something happening in the real world.
Yeah, and also like with the sound also goes with the way that it was filmed. It was filmed very like real. It felt very real. A lot of the shots were just so grounded.
Yeah,
and that really had me very, very invested in the story. Now, it's been a long time since I've watched this movie. The last time I think I saw it was when I was like around 14 years old, and I hardly remember it. So I was happy to rewatch it, not just because it's Halloween, but because I haven't seen it in a long time. And you haven't seen it since you were a kid too.
Yeah, it was like since high school probably, since I've last seen it. So watching the movie overall, so you know, it had really great pacing too.
Yeah,
like, the pacing in this movie is really, really good,
and that has a lot to do with the suspense.
Yeah,
like I think that the pacing was really solid because like the way that the suspense was presented had you like still hooked in. So
yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, the movie is just really good when it starts off in the beginning, just the way it's well shot with you have the sun in the background and they start in Egypt and you have Max von Sydow's character, you know, digging up like artifacts and stuff, and he finds like Sumerian culture and like the stuff of like, you know, the demons and whatnot. And there's a really brilliant shot where he's facing the demon and there's dogs barking in the background and there's a guy that comes out and looks like creepy. The shot is just like really good. And then we go into the actual movie where basically it starts off, we have the mother's an actress and she's, just doing her thing as an actress, and she has a little daughter, and her daughter is just, an innocent little girl, and you get the opening of how they have a connection with each other. And then from there's a scene where she brings out the Ouija board, and she's like, obviously been playing with the Ouija board she found like in the attic or something, or in the closet or whatever.
Yeah.
And then from there on, all hell starts breaking loose with her. Her mom doesn't know what's wrong with her. She takes her to several doctors, and the doctors don't know. They do like psychiatric tests on her, and all those scenes are shot like really, really well. Like when they're doing, they're drawing blood from her, like blood's like spraying out and stuff, and it's like really crazy, but it's really well shot.
Good practical effects.
Yeah, the practical effects in this movie are really good. So yeah, there's all that, and then she realizes, that I think it's deeper than neurological science can handle. So it's like she's got, and then the doctors, they all have like a conversation, say, I think you need to see an exorcist. So
they're like, this is a little bit more than our field.
Yeah. So there is Father Carcass is, I don't know the actor that plays him, but he's basically he's a father that he's like he's a priest slash like he's a psychiatrist. So he's like, it's just really deep. He's having issues with life, and I think his faith, and he has concerns for his mother, and it's just really deep in his character. His mother passes away, and I think he's like trying to find his faith, and he's kind of like, he's really upset about it. And then he's brought into the situation with this exorcism. So it's kind of like, it's interesting.
It's definitely a growth story for him and his faith too.
Yeah.
Like losing his faith and then at the end, basically giving back into his faith, and then sacrificing himself basically, to save the day.
Yep.
But like one thing that kind of caught me off guard in this movie is just like, I was prepared upon rewatching it. I was prepared for it to be a lot more scarier than it was. And I don't know if it holds up that well in the scare factor. Call me crazy, but like I know how much everybody loves this film and everybody talks so highly of this film. And I think that it is an amazing film. I by no means is it a bad movie at all. I just don't think that I wasn't like really terrified of it. I've seen a lot of scary shit in my life, and I don't think that
I wasn't terrified either, even though I think it was just a buildup of not seeing it forever. When I saw it as a little kid, I was kind of scared of the movie, but now after rewatching, I'm like, it's not really that scary.
I know. I was like, oh man, I can't watch this in the dark. I can't I got to prepare for this. I got to watch this with somebody. Like, no.
Yeah, it's really not that scary of a film. What makes it great is just the way the story's portrayed. And the really characters solid. And the acting. That's where I think it really shows its ground and how it is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and watching it again was definitely special. Like it's a great movie, and cinematically it is a masterpiece. It really is.
Even for the time period.
Especially for the time period. Like if I were to watch this in like the 70s, like my mind would probably be blown. I'd be like, there's nothing that can beat this. Like this is really incredible, and like this has to be probably the scariest thing ever.
Yeah.
But a lot has happened since then, obviously. We've gotten so many different horror movies, so many different exorcism movies. And I mean, this movie even spawned a sequel that's coming out this weekend called The Exorcist Believer, which is a direct sequel to this movie. I know that some of the sequels of this franchise are pretty good, too. A lot of them are talked about. I want to say The Exorcist 3. A lot of people talk about that one a lot. I haven't seen that one, so I'm kind of interested to keep watching these movies to see like how where they go and stuff. But yeah, ultimately, like I think that the film is fantastic. So
I think it's really fantastic, and for the time period, I thought the practical effects and the lighting and the shots in the scene in the bedroom, and just overall, you have the dream scenes with Father Damien Carcass, like when he has his dream scenes with his mom, like, and you see her in the room. Do you see her in the room in that one shot?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I just think that the shots, just when they were trying to foretold what they were trying to tell in the story, like they all make sense in this movie. So they're really well done, I think. Also, in addition to that, just all the other stuff, like the practical effects were like when Linda Blair was like spitting on them, and it was just like it was just like
green.
It looked like it was like Gerber baby food mixed in with some green stuff. Like it was really, really good with that, and the way they portrayed the spitting of her doing that, and just overall, like there was a scene where she's like, the scene is where she's coming down the stairs and she's like flipped backwards and like blood's coming out of her mouth and she's walking down. That scene is amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's really good.
There's a lot of like really good ones that stand out for me. Like, I mean, that one is definitely one of them, but the one where they're in the bed and like she's the helper comes in and like tells the priest to come check this out, and then they open her dress up and then you see like "help me" appear on her stomach. That was like really intense. And even when they're performing the exorcism and she finally like levitates off the bed with her eyes like rolled back in her head, like that is woo.
It's really well done for the time period. Like I'm amazed for what they pulled off at the time. Like it's really, really good.
It's great stuff. So what would you rate this movie?
Oh, you know what? This gets a solid 4 out of 5 for me.
4 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah, only because the pacing is great. The story is really good in this movie. Like this is what holds this movie, is the story, and probably the cinematography and just the ambience, like we talked about earlier with the sound. The sound design is really good in this movie. And to give it the 4th star, I'd say the practical effects are really, really good. And I'd say the acting, because I thought Linda Blair, her voice is obviously dubbed over by the demon or whatever, the possession. But
another actor or something.
Or another actor or whatever. But it's just really well done.
Yeah. I agree. I think that I would rate this movie. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 stars. I'm gonna give it almost 5 stars. And my gripe with it is I felt like the movie was kind of anticlimactic at the end. Like there was a lot of buildup, and maybe I was in my own head about it, but like I was expecting it to be a lot more terrifying than it actually was for me. And just like after he like pulls the demon inside of him and then jumps out the window, and then that's like it. Like I was like, that's it. Like
yeah,
there's
and
not
then
like
the father gives him a blessing while he's dying on the bottom of the stairs,
and like although it is a good ending, I just expected a little bit more. But maybe that's just because like nowadays in horror, they try and flesh out the endings like pretty solidly. I mean, obviously not every movie hits really well, but I just was like, oh, that's it. Like, okay.
I can say that the sequencing, like the shot, the selection was good. Like the steady cam over the top shot, like of the stairs with him on the bottom and the blood pool at the bottom.
It's beautiful. The cinematography is incredible.
Compelling to me.
Yeah.
Just showing it, just making it really dramatic at the end. That's the drama at the end of it.
But I was like, is the devil gone? Is that it? Like
exactly.
Like
that was what I was wondering.
It's
as
kind
well.
of like unclear of what's it's like mystery, and maybe that's what he was going for. But I just I don't know. I wanted a little bit more closure in like a more like direct way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, I loved the whole movie. I thought that like the cinematography, incredible. Sound design, immaculate.
Bueno.
It's so good. And even the acting, like it's really great. And especially for its time, it's just like it being from the 70s just launches it. Like it is so well done for the time period. And
I most definitely agree.
But yeah, so let's end this episode with some fun facts real quick for you.
Mm-hmm.
I got
What do
some
you got,
fun
Calvin?
facts. Are you ready? Drum roll. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's see. On the first day of rehearsing the exorcism sequence, Linda Blair's delivery of her foul-mouthed dialogue so disturbed the gentlemanly Max von Sydow,
Max von Sydow.
That he actually forgot his lines. So he probably was thrown back by the "your mother sucks cocks in hell."
Yeah.
Let's see. According to director William Friedkin, the subliminal shots of the white-faced demon are actually rejected makeup tests for Reagan's possessed appearance.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool. Like, using stuff that you weren't going to use. Like,
yeah.
it's nice. Let's see. Due to death threats against Linda Blair from religious zealots who believed the film glorified Satan, Warner Bros. Had bodyguards protecting her for 6 months after the film's release.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But she did portray it really well. I can see why those people were upset about it.
Yeah. You have those same zealots go check out like one of the modern day exorcism movies and come back go have those zealots go check out The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Let's see. The highest grossing Warner Bros. Film of all time when adjusted for inflation.
Wow. It was an impactful movie. I can see why.
It's pretty impressive. Jack Nicholson was up for the part of Father Karras before Jason Miller landed the role. William Friedkin thought he was too unholy to ever play a priest.
Just probably from his past movies, like
The Shining and stuff. Well, I think The Shining came out later.
I don't even think one flies out of the cuckoo's nest. I think that was after as well.
I mean, Jack Nicholson just has a very charismatic face.
Yeah, he does,
and it's pretty. He's wacky.
Yeah.
Let's see. The agency representing Linda Blair overlooked her, recommending at least 30 other clients for the part of Reagan. Blair's mother brought her in herself to try out for the role.
Oh, wow. Well, she definitely killed it.
She did fantastic. In the extended director's cut, Father Marin asked Chris for her daughter's middle name. In the Middle Ages, Catholics used to give their children several names as they believed it would hinder demons from finding out the children's real name and controlling one's soul. So we saw that.
This was the director's cut. I believe we got the good extended sound track as well. And her middle name was Teresa.
Yeah. A saint,
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know how this correlation, like her middle name's Teresa and the father's name is Damien. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see you. The vomit Reagan hurls at Father Karras is thick pea soup.
Oh, I was totally wrong. I said baby girl.
I mean, hey, come on, that's like close enough. Specifically, it's Anderson's brand of pea soup. The crew tried Campbell's but didn't like the effect. That's so funny. Yeah, let's try the different packets of pea soup out.
Let's go, guys. Let's try this. We'll get a batch going for you.
Let's see. Father Dyer was played by Father William O'Malley, an actual priest who, until 2012, taught at Fordham Prep, a Jesuit high school.
That's an interesting fact.
I mean,
it also is cool where this film was shot on location in like Georgetown. I don't know about Georgetown University, but it is filmed in Georgetown.
Yeah, it was, and it was the house was filmed in, or apartment, whatever you want to call it. It was filmed in 2 different locations, or like 2 different buildings.
Oh, okay.
So, there was an outside exterior of a building, and then the inside is a completely different building.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. And let's see, one more. We got the demon scene, but not named, throughout the film is called Pazuzu.
I never really paid attention to that or even heard it.
It says a demon known in Assyrian and Babylonian mythology as the demon that brings famine during the dry seasons and locusts during the rainy seasons. He was the king of the demons of the wind. So,
you see the wind in the shots, like when the windows open, but all those other characteristics you don't really see.
You don't.
Like, I didn't see any of the locusts and any of the other stuff.
No, like maybe her lips were chapped because of the dry.
Oh yeah, that her practical, like her makeup artist was like amazing on those parts of it. Remember when she's levitating too? There's the camera pans and there's like a slit and it goes.
Oh yeah,
and it cuts her on the leg.
Yeah, as soon as he does
I thought that
water.
was really well done.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for joining. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and we'll keep coming with the content. All right, good night.
Thank you all so much for watching the Calvin Cam podcast. You can follow us on social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter. Go check us out on all audio streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. We also have the Calvin Cam YouTube channel. Go over there, subscribe and like our videos and help us get bigger and better. You can also go help support us by going over to patreon.com and joining one of our patron tiers. We provide a lot of cool benefits, so would love to see you over there. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.